What are the obligations of an employment pass holder, especially when he is also the promoter of the company? So, this video is explaining the situation for a specific scenario. As you know, Epica Consulting provides services for Singapore Company Incorporation and also for employment pass filing. So this scenario that I am explaining in this video is where a person has incorporated a company in Singapore and is also relocating to Singapore by applying employment pass. This should not be treated as a generic guide for the obligations of employment pass holders who are in general employment. So if you are an employee of a multinational company or a large organization, then don't refer to this video. This is specifically where you are the promoter of the company as well as the employment pass holder. So it appears to me that people generally are not aware of these obligations, and then as a promoter employee of the company, they sometimes come out with some ideas. So one of the client once told me he will take the employment pass, but he will continue staying in his home country. He will use the employment pass only for visiting Singapore as and when required, and he can also act as a local director. Clearly, he had no idea of what other obligations he has to take care of when employment pass is applied. So let's have a look. The first condition is that the pass, employment pass, is for working in Singapore. So once the employment pass is issued to you, it is expected that you are going to be in a full-time employment of the company, and that means you are generally expected to be in Singapore. You are also generally expected to be residing in Singapore, and you must have a residential address in Singapore if acting as a local director. So the idea of taking an employment pass and continuing residing in home country generally is contradictory to this requirement. The next requirement is that you must make monthly salary payment. So in this case, you are the promoter of the company. You are possibly the 100% owner of the company. But you are also the employee of the company, and these are two different roles. So the company must make the agreed payment of salary every month to you, and it should be visible in the company's as well as your bank account. Salary slips needs to be issued, and at the end of the year, IR8A, or what is also referred to as a salary certificate, must be issued by the company. So this is the obligation on your company. So for example, let's presume that you have declared salary of 6,000 Singapore dollars per month. Then every month that much salary must be transferred and payroll processing must be carried out for this. The next point is about annual tax filing. So now you have received the salary and you need to pay taxes after the completion of year on the annual salary that you have received. So in our example, we have presumed $6,000 monthly salary. That comes to be around 72,000 Singapore dollars per year. So you must pay taxes to government on this salary, and that comes to be around 2,790 Singapore dollars. Then in addition to that, there are some other obligations, like you must terminate your employment pass when no more actively working for the company and leave Singapore within the time granted after termination of your employment pass. Normally, Ministry of Manpower will give you 30 days short-term visa to make the arrangement to leave Singapore after the termination. Singapore employment pass comes with some specific obligations and ensure that you fulfill those.
Thank you for watching this video. This video was brought to you by Epica Consulting Singapore. Subscribe to our channel today to get notified when new videos are posted.